Okay, this problem says a hoodlum throws a stone vertically downward with an initial speed of 12 meters per second from the roof of a building 30 meters above the ground. How long does it take the stone to reach the ground, and what is the speed of the stone at impact? So the stone is right here. Let's define this as y equals 0. We can call that y1, or we can just call it y. We don't have to keep putting the ones in there. It's useful to put the ones in there when you have, like we were dealing with earlier, where you have several points along the path and you want to denote all of those. Since we only have one final place, I'm going to call that y. So this, where the stone is at initially, is y0, which is equal to plus 30.0 meters. So in this case, y0 is equal to plus 30.0 meters, and the final y is equal to 0. We have also vy0 equals negative 12.0 meters per second. Remember, it is thrown vertically downward, so vy0 is downward. That means it must be negative 12 meters per second. You can even show a, here's the little hoodlum here, throwing the rock down that way. And it's going to fall with the acceleration of gravity, ay. Okay, so and at this point it has some velocity. I don't know. All right, so let me define all my knowns. So y0 equals plus 30.0 meters. Y equals 0, that's the final place. Vy0 equals negative 12.0 meters per second. This we don't know. Acceleration is negative 9.8 meters per second squared, and the time we also don't know. The question asks how long does it take and what's the speed of the stone and impact, so we need both of these things. So let's look at the kinematic equations first. We are, okay, so we don't have Vy, so we can't, that's the final velocity, so we can't use this, we can't use that, we can't use that, we're only left with this again, so we're going to end up in a quadratic, and that is not nice. I don't like using the quadratics, but what if we were to find the final velocity first? Okay, so let's reverse the order that the question's asking. And let's say question B says find the speed of the stone at impact, but it's not necessarily Vy, it's going to be the magnitude of Vy, because that is speed, which is magnitude of velocity. Well, that one shouldn't be too bad, because we're looking for Vf. We have the original velocity, we have the acceleration, we have the distance traveled. We can use this equation. V final, which is just Vy squared, equals Vy0 squared plus 2a, and you can put ay if you want to, or you can just leave it as a, because there's only one acceleration here. Later we'll have a second acceleration. Xf, which is y minus y naught. So in order to find Vy, we're going to just take the square root, Vy naught squared, plus 2a. Also, y is 0, negative y naught. Okay, so plug in the numbers. Vy naught is negative 12.0 meters per second squared. Negative 12 squared is going to be positive, which is good because we can't have a negative under the square root, at least not in this class. So negative 29.8 meters per second squared is acceleration, and negative y0 is negative 30.0 meters. Negative cancels. Vy is going to equal plus or minus, I forgot to put in the plus or minus, excuse me, the square root of all of this stuff, which, let me just write the answer down. Vy is equal to plus or minus 27.1 meters per second. Here's the thing. This doesn't make physical sense because the acceleration is always in the direction of the velocity. So this is where we have to apply physics. And Vy equals negative 27.1 meters per second because it has to be negative. Math gives us two solutions, physics gives us one. All right. However, if we want to get really picky now, the question asks for the speed. So the speed is going to be the magnitude of Vy, which is just equal to 27.1 meters per second. Now that we have this velocity, then it's really easy to find the time. Because we'll just look at our kinematic equations. We have the simplest of all of them. So y is equal to v0y plus at. We can solve this for t. T equals vy minus v0y over a, which equals vy, which is, remember, vy is negative 27.1 meters per second. If you forget that negative, you will have problems. The speed is positive, but the velocity is negative, minus the original velocity, which is 12.0 meters per second, all over negative 9.8 meters per second squared. It doesn't make sense to have a negative, does it? So a negative 27 plus 12, because negative times negative is plus, so that would be negative 15 over negative 9.8. So, okay, negative over negative, that equals a positive. T equals 1.54 seconds.